Hello everyone, welcome to a new video for Bitcoin price prediction based on Elliott Wave analysis. This is a deep analysis for Bitcoin. We're gonna dive deeper in the all-time history from the weekly to the 15-minute chart micro level to see what we might have next and where are we heading with the price of Bitcoin. So starting with the weekly here, we have of course our parabolic move here from Bitcoin with cycles where we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the first cycle as an impulse, and then we have wave 2, 3, and then finishing the second cycle, 4 and a 5, finishing the third cycle, and finishing with the third cycle, of course, a full impulse there as a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Within this finished impulse, you have finished a wave 1 or a wave A. After this, we see, of course, a very deep correction, and the deepest, I would say, until the 15K from the 71K, has a very sharp zigzag ABC, followed by a very strong bull run, of course, which we saw lately, our last bull run. This last bull run, of course, is a wave 1 of a wave C or a wave 3, and that means since we are here in a wave 1 or wave A finished impulse, we are looking therefore for a wave A and then wave B and a wave C to unfold toward the upside. Otherwise, we are looking as well at a 1, 2 here and a wave 3, 4 and a 5 to continue impulsively towards higher prices. We're looking therefore for a wave 3 or for a wave C. Both wave C or wave 3 has to be 5 waves impulse or a motive wave, meaning whether we are in an ending diagonal or an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now the target for wave 3 is a 1.618, of course taken here from the wave 1. It depends on this wave 2 where it's gonna of course drop down. So if we drop it at the minimum requirement here, which is a 0.38, we will find the 1.618 will give us of course a bull run towards the 207K here as a wave 3 1.618 Fibonacci level. And that means, of course, the minimum requirement, which is very, very possible, especially that we are in a wave 3 here, and you are in a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So this is the wave 3 over 3 here. And that means, of course, this is the most impulsive and explosive wave that it might happen here for Bitcoin. And of course, when you have a wave 3 over 3 as a characteristic for Bitcoin, normally the wave 2 tends only to take the minimum requirement 0.38. And therefore, I'm expecting here kind of like a 3 waves, shallow, regular flat, for example, hitting this area as 0.38 and then start to push toward the upside. Especially that you see, of course, in this chart here in the history, you see a very strong technical support area here that it might hold on the price exactly around the 52K and then of course starting the push towards higher prices. Now of course there are many different possibilities. Of course there is a possibility that we dive deeper here in an ABC zigzag, for example, the same as we had before in the bear markets. We saw the same zigzag every time. So if this is gonna repeat itself, then okay, we're looking for the 34K here, 35K potentially, and then pushing for higher later on. However, I doubt it a little bit because as I mentioned, when we are in a wave 3 over 3, I doubt that the wave 2 will go very, very deep for Bitcoin. Yep, so these are the possibility for the bullish here, whether we are in a wave 3 or a wave C, we are looking for the same impulse toward the upside. Now, basically, if we want to talk bearish, of course, if we are bearish with a deeper correction, as we mentioned, this is, of course, can be a possibility. In this case, it might be much more likely a wave C rather than a wave 3, and that will turn it, of course, into an ABC here, zigzag, where your wave C is a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, hitting, of course, a very low wave 2. So in this case, preferably to see a wave 3, of course, to continue toward the upside for later for Bitcoin, and not a 3 ways, because the 3 ways will, of course, give us a very strong move downward after it. So bearish scenario, different bearish scenario that we might have here. Of course, the same finished impulse, wave 1 or wave A. But rather than reading here an impulse, you can read it as W, X, and a Y, where you have a double zigzag with an X in between. You have a 3 waves ABC, and you might seek, of course, for a strong wave C downward. Now, this bearish scenario tells you that yes, it might take the low again, which is the 15K, which is very, very far possibility. Honestly, of course, we need to break a lot of levels in the top before coming to this area. But just to mention that yes, of course, there is a bearish scenario. Can be, of course, an A, B, and a C expanding flat, a large one expanding flat, and then of course coming back towards the 15K. But to break those area, of course, it will be a mission already, of course, for Bitcoin. So yeah, this is regarding the all-time history. Higher possibility, of course, to continue from the 52K, I would say, or this zone between the 56 and the 50K, and then pushing towards the upside. Now, if we dive in on the daily, for the daily, I would like to mention, of course, something interesting about the channeling, which is our key element here for our answer for Bitcoin next. So basically, we have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. This is our bull run, finished over there as a wave 1, wave 5. And of course, we see the price exiting the base channel, and then, of course, bringing the price downward. That means, of course, a bear market is unfolding using this base channel, of course, as a support here, and then dropping down. Now, we have laid, of course, our base channel starting from this 1, 2, because we have double 1, 2 right now. And why I'm considering this double 1, 2, not 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5 here? Well, because, of course, if you want to consider this as an impulse, the wave 3 has to be 5 ways. Now, this is a 5 ways, but it is not allowed to interfere, of course, as an impulse. It's not allowed to interfere the wave 4 within the wave 1. And wave 3 in an impulse is only allowed to be an impulse as well. So the wave 3 internally has to be an impulse. It's not allowed to be any other motive wave. It's not allowed to be a diagonal, yeah, or expanding diagonal as we have here, or a leading diagonal. So it has to be a clean impulse. And as you can see, the wave 4 here interfere with the zone 1. And that means, of course, it's not an impulse. It is an expanding diagonal here, unfolding for an A, B, and a C. And this ABC, of course, turns the price here into a W, potentially. And then we have another 3 waves for an X. And we might have a wave Y. Now, the wave Y can be, of course, a longer wave C there. So you have also an ABC repeating the same shape almost. So basically, if you have an ABC there, the wave C internally is still unfolding here potentially as double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5. So it can be, of course, a deeper wave Y there. We're going to see it, of course, within the label. Now, interesting within the channel here is that because of this 1, 2 potential expanding diagonal, so you can read it also as a wave 1, not a wave 3 again, just as a wave 1 or a wave C, meaning ABC or 1, 2, 1, 2 here. Only this is how we can read it. We cannot read it 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. So if we are in a 1, 2 there, this is our base channel. The base channel, of course, that we have, the price is still, of course, holding inside the base channel. We don't see any exit yet, of course, from the base channel. Now, this is a key element because when we exit the base channel, we might see, of course, a surge toward the downside. Okay, we might see a very strong move downward. Now, it can be, of course, in 2 possibilities, which it can be, of course, the wave 3 unfolding there, or we might have, of course, a wave Y longer. Internally, you have double 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5 to be longer ABC. We're going to see this closer, of course, on our labeling here. So for the shallow wave 2 here as a regular flat, we might have a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. We have an A, B, and a C here. I would say W, X, and Y much stronger, of course. So the wave Y here can still reach, of course, the 52K as 1-to-1 fib level taken from the W to the X to the Y. And that means it still can be in confluence with a strong support area here that it might unfold toward the upside. Plus, don't forget that you need the 0.38 fib level here to, of course, unfold something very strong for Bitcoin as a wave 3. So the 0.38 here will be a trigger, I would say, for something to push for higher. Now, it can be even taking a little bit more time here, meaning transition of this three waves into wave A, and then having a three waves up, wave B, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for wave C, bringing, of course, the price back to this red zone within the time required, of course, based on this 1, 2. Now, the time required for this 1, 2, of course, might be reached perfectly in this area in March 2027, which it might take some time. So basically, even I would say like the 0.38 can be even a possibility, which is, of course, as you can see, around November 2026, which is the end of this current year. So basically, if this happens, like very fast, wave 2, and then pushing for higher, can be possibility. Of course, there is a different possibility rather than being a regular flat here. It can simply the wave B shift for something higher, like a strong zigzag as a wave B, hitting the 150K if it wants to, taking the new all-time high, tricking everyone that we are running here for the 200K for Bitcoin, and then dropping down in a wave C expanding flat. And that, of course, will trick everyone, of course, and put everyone outside here and liquidate everyone. So be careful from this scenario. Of course, when it comes, we're gonna follow it step by step as usual. But yeah, that is a possibility. Don't forget that wave C here, ABC, as a regular flat or as an expanding flat, both they have the same target, because the expanding flat is looking for the 1.618, but with a higher wave B, which will bring us exactly at the same area of a 1-to-1 fib level for a regular flat. So that's why this area is still very, very required in any case scenario here. Yeah, so these are the possibility for the shallow wave 2, regular flat, or an expanding flat for a shallow wave 2. Now, of course, different scenario is, of course, transitioning to a deep correction as a very deep zigzag ABC here, bringing us around the 25 and 35K for Bitcoin. So in this case, you are looking at 112. So here we get out of the WXNY. No WXNY, therefore it is a 112. And in 112, therefore we are looking at 3, 4, 5, 4, and a 5 for a wave A here as a zigzag A, B, and a C toward the downside as a zigzag. So if in this case, we need, of course, to break the channel, the base channel here, deeply in a wave 3, 4, and a 5 of a wave A, and then B and a C, of course, zigzag toward the downside. Yeah, so this is a deep correction that I would like to mention here, of course, that it might unfold as well. In case, of course, on the micro level, we see here a 1, 2, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, and a 5, 4, and a 5. So let's dive inside it to see what do we mean also exactly. So on the 2 hours chart here, on the 2 hours chart, the micro level, as you can see, this might be your W, X, and a Y. As you can see, this is an expanding diagonal as an ABC, and then ABC again, and then AB and a C. Now, the wave C here, here is the trick with Bitcoin right now. This is where we get the answer. Are we going to have a deep correction, or are we going to have a shallow correction? The answer lies, of course, in this move, last move, and also within the next move after the triangle. So here in WX and a Y, you have an A, B, and a C, right? The wave C can be finished as 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Now, this is an impulse finished, right? However, you can run this impulse as 112 as well, and that this is your wave 3, and this is a wave 4 there, and then of course you might have wave 5, 4, and a 5 to finish only one leg impulse, which it can preserve at this time, of course, an ABC, right? By preserving an ABC here and hitting only 52K and above, that will preserve your WX and a Y. So it's gonna keep the WX and a Y intact, and you might still get a strong 3 waves up, meaning regular flat, might still be, of course, very, very possible in this case. Now, if we are deep correction, we're looking for the 25 and 35K. That means you want to see only one leg wave 5. Why? Because you want to finish this as a 1-2, and this is a finished wave 3, and currently you're looking at a wave 4, and you're looking for a wave 5. Within this wave 5, you will finish a wave 3, meaning this expanding diagonal as a wave 1, 2, this is your wave 3. You're expecting 4 and a 5, 4 and a 5 again, because you have, of course, a 1, 2 over there as well. So this will bring us directly, of course, toward the downside. And that's why, of course, you don't want to have the double 1, 2 playing here. You want to play it as ABC if you want to be bullish again for Bitcoin. ABC rather than double 1, 2. Yeah, so this is a difference. The answer will be given again in this area. Are we gonna get 4545, meaning preserving the ABC, or are we gonna get only one strong wave 5, which is gonna turn into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, perfect wave 3 there, and then you have a large double 1, 2 to play for 5, 4, 5 towards the 25 and 35K. Yep, so this is what we are looking for the next days. I would say for Bitcoin, currently this wave 4 is playing for both case scenario. This wave 4 is playing perfectly for both case scenario. I was looking for invalidation at least for the double 1, 2, so to eliminate one of these possibility, but unfortunately the price didn't give it to us. So both invalidation are still there, because if you want to invalidate double 1, 2, you want to see the wave 4 interfering with this last 1, 2. Wave 4 is not allowed to interfere. We didn't took it. And also if you are in a large 1, 2, 3, 4, of course this is a very, very long one to invalidate. Yeah, so yeah, we'll see, guys. Anyway, both are still playing, and maybe the double 1, 2 is not invalidated for a reason. Yeah, for a reason, and that means, of course, it has to be 4, 5, 4, 5. Okay, because normally, if we have only 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, and we're talking with Bitcoin here, normally upside is much more stronger, always, even in a bear market sometimes. So, I mean, at least in the correction in a bear market, when we don't see a strong upward and invalidation of double 1, 2, meaning that the double 1, 2 wants to play. Okay, higher possibility to be, of course, in the double 1, 2 here and having 4, 5, 4, 5, meaning preserving the ABC as WX and Y, and then pushing toward the upside again for a wave V regular flat, which it might be, of course, a shallow wave 2, but of course it's gonna take time, at least a year, until March, potentially 2027, to start to see something as a bull run. But of course, the retracement that we might get after those double 4, 5 here might be, of course, very, very strong as well. Don't forget, it might bring us to a new all-time high as a large expanding flat. Yeah, so also very, very likely. Yep, so we'll see what's gonna happen, yeah, with regarding this. So finally, 15-minute chart here to track this triangle. So this triangle, of course, is unfolding as an A, B, and a C, a D, and a E. Obviously, the wave E is unfolding today, and we're gonna see, of course, this wave E finishing up somewhere, of course, in this area. Preferably, of course, to take the 1-to-1 here. Let's check the 1-to-1. There you go. So 69K can be, of course, our target for a wave E here in a 1-to-1 fib level to finish a wave 4. Yeah, we'll see, of course, what's gonna happen over there. Of course, taking the 70K 970, meaning if the price continue toward the upside, breaking this area, okay, we are looking there for something toward the upside, because the triangle might got invalidated here. But I doubt this, because yeah, it's not possible really so much to have a 1-2, 1-2 here, especially, of course, the momentum is reducing there. And of course, everything looks like a perfect triangle actually. And of course, it is a wave 4 characteristic. And don't forget that this wave 4 is a double scenario, meaning 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5, or 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 5. Before you leave, make sure to join our private Discord community. There you will get daily updates faster than YouTube, plus exclusive bonus trading signals for the gold, silver, Bitcoin, and stocks. You can also request one special technical analysis every day and get access even to our only members video on YouTube and also on Discord. And stay ahead, of course, with economic and political news that actually moves the market. And of course, we do regular Q&A sessions, so you can get your questions answered directly in the Discord. And of course, if you're serious about leveling your trading, the Discord link is below in the description and in the comments. Thank you for watching. Thank you for your likes and comments, and see you in the next one. Bye-bye.